Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am joined by HellHades. Hades, it has been a long time, man. Welcome back to the channel. How you doing?
Ash, thank you for having me back on. It feels like it's been forever.
I know. It was like
a
a year ago, I feel like. It was like an hour-long video, right?
Yeah. It was meant to be like a 15-minute, and we just kept going. No,
I know.
Man.
Probably will be the same thing here. For those of you who don't know HellHades, I imagine everybody does, but his channel link will be in the description below, as well as his social media. He also streams on Twitch, and we're going to do a collab on his channel too. So after this one, why not go ahead and check that video out as well? We're going to talk about Hades. I was telling you off camera or off mic that I put a community tab poll out recently asking if people thought that 2021 was going to be the best year to Raid Shadow Legends, and it felt like every single comment was about the arena. Like, if they fix arena and arena's broken and people are mad about the arena. I know that I've never done a video talking about this issue, but I know that you've done a few of them, so I figured what better guest to bring on and kind of break down the issue and possible solutions. You know, obviously you saw the same feedback that I did, and I'm seeing it a little bit on my free-to-play account as well. I'm sure you are as well, but how did this all start, and what kind of information did you gather to kind of identify what the issue actually is, assuming you even know?
Yeah. So look, it feels like we've kind of gone in some sort of cycle. So I had a free-to-play account going back June, July last year. And people said to me at the time, the arena's a mess, I can't get to Silver 1. And I was like, guys, don't worry, I'll start an account and I'll show you how to do it. And I was literally like 25 days in, I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. This is hard. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm leveling the right sort of champions, and it is really hard to get to Silver 1. Anyway, like, roll on a couple of months, and Plarium do a fix, Raid do a fix. They throw out some, or they kind of change their algorithms, and they throw in these almost like dummy accounts. They say they're not bot accounts, and you know they've never had bot accounts, but something changed, and all of a sudden you had whole boards full of easy fights. Yeah.
Yes.
And people were able to kind of like develop great hauls and get past arbiter missions and all that type of stuff. So we had this kind of honeymoon period, and it felt long. It felt like we had a good 8-9 months of just easy arena, which brings its own problems because like people that want to play in a higher level don't want a team, you know, every team they face to be super easy, but they kind of were. But anyway, we kind of roll on to about a month ago, and I start getting that same noise. It's like, do you realize the arena's got really, really hard again? So I started to do some digging, and it looks like what's happened is they've kind of almost reset whatever they did to have these easy fights. So the easy fights have gone away, and we're kind of back to the new player experience, or the new to mid-game experience being one where you fight experienced players. And that might be in like bronze to arena. You might be fighting someone with 3 or 4 legendary champions. And basically I put a video out just saying, look, this needs to be fixed. It needs to be addressed, because what we want, what me and you want, and what everybody wants here is for players to come in, enjoy the game, all aspects of the game, and really to stay as long as possible enjoying the game. And if there's one kind of pinch point that's really frustrating people, it's the arena.
It really is. I was shocked because I was expecting people to complain about the things that we always complain about, right? Like with silver, the books, the dupes.
We're fine. Everything is fine. It's all good.
All that stuff. And I was just, I knew it was an issue because I watched your videos. But at the end of the day, I was just like, wow, so many people are feeling this. And to be honest, I'm feeling it on my free-to-play account right now. I'm in bronze 4 right now.
Sure.
And it feels like, I don't get any gimme battles anymore. Not saying that these are all the toughest teams that you guys can see, my viewers, right now on the screen, but it's way tougher than it used to be. So do you think the solution here is just adding dummy accounts again?
Well, no, I think that's
dummy accounts,
the worst solution. I think that would be the worst thing for the game. Albeit, like, I could see why people say just do it, because it's a really quick, easy fix. But the fix is just the wrong fix, because actually what you're doing is you're changing PvE into another form of PvP into another form of PvE, because all you're doing is throwing in bots, which, anyone can beat those. So I think there's a couple of problems. I think, firstly, these arbiter missions being tied to arena at the point that they are, I think it's way too early. If they're going to keep the arena structure as is. Because if you actually look at the mission, if you're on your free-to-play and you look at your kind of mission lines, as soon as you get past one of those arena pinch point missions, you can do the next 10 easy until you get to the next arena one. And then you're like, I'm stuck on arena again. And these missions, when they were built, were meant to be a kind of like a linear progression to help you through the game. And it's not until the final kind of parts of the missions where it should feel like really challenging. Each one's a new challenge. It's really stretching your roster, stretching your gear. You know, that's what the mission log should do on the route to Arbiter. But actually what it's doing is it's getting people quite early on to a point of frustration. And look, I don't have the stats on it, but I would be shocked if there's not a massive stat of people that leave the game that either didn't get to Silver 1, or perhaps they scraped into Silver 1, did that mission, and then the next hard one that comes along is like get to a certain level in the Great Hall, and you're just like, wow, it's going to take me literally months to do it. So I mean, I said in my video, I feel like there's a couple of things they could do, like straight out. So I think you could just change the order of the missions or remove the arena ones like short term, just so people don't have that pinch point. Because the arena should be competitive. Yeah, it should be the best players at the top, the worst players at the bottom, and you just fight people of your level. That's what the arena should be. That's what it's like in every other game. But it feels like the arena's too compact. So the amount of players we got,
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm somewhere in between. I agree with you in the Arbiter missions. Intuitively, it makes no sense at all, right? Like, why is everything after that easier now that the arena is so kind of broken, right? But at the same time, I guess I wouldn't mind if they had bots, or whether it's bots or inactive accounts. My hunch here, and I don't know if I'm right, you might have a better understanding, because I know that you spoke to Plarium about this as well, which I'm curious to hear about in a second. But my understanding here is that after a while, or what it feels like is after a while of players being inactive, they're almost removing them from the arena pool. And maybe that was the issue, right? Maybe that for a while they changed whatever that threshold is of a player being active to not put them back in the arena pool. Or maybe if they fall low enough, they just simply remove them. I'm not sure what it could be, but it does feel like everybody's pretty active, I guess, in the arena, which is why these teams are way more challenging. I guess I wouldn't mind, personally, to have bots like below, silver or something. Like, we're talking, I have the same concern that you do, Hades, when it comes to newer players. But rather than it being mainly about the Arbiter missions, I'm really concerned with the Great Hall, dude. Like, how it's so difficult to farm now,
Yeah. Well, so, I come onto it in a little while, because I do ask a few questions specifically around those things, and I'll read out some of the answers in a sec.
Let's go for it. Or touch on what you think about, like, would you sign off on the bots below, or does that just go against your PvE principle? What a mouthful.
Well, look, I think one of the ideas I had, which doesn't add bots, I don't feel like adding bots is the right solution. I personally don't feel like that's the way to go. What I would love for them to do is, and they do this in Dragon Champions, which is a game I play, basically when a new player joins, he's kind of guarded in this new player zone, okay? And basically you don't touch the rest of the world of PvP until you've reached a certain point in the game. So it could be that, someone who's less than 3 months in, or someone who hasn't reached a certain point in their Arbiter missions, or whatever the threshold is, just gets into this almost like secondary PvP system. And you stay in that system either until you get your Arbiter, or until whatever the decision, whatever makes sense. And then you get released into the mainstream. So at least you don't have that experience of the old player that's played for a year, that's perhaps just a bit bored of the game, but still logs in now and then, so still is active according to the game. They're the people that people are facing. And those people with 2, 3, 4 legendaries, even if they're geared poorly, are just mincing these kind of like free-to-play new players that are actively trying to enjoy the game. So I kind of like the idea of a whole separate arena structure for a newer player until they hit a threshold, and then they move on to the real world.
All right, so I think we're pretty much in agreement, man. Like, when it comes down to it, we just both want like it to be easier to farm Great Hall, because Great Hall takes forever. Like, are you 100% max on Great Hall?
Not 100%, no. Okay, I covered this in my video. I've been playing almost bang on 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm close to maxing my Great Hall, probably like another 5 or 6 different elements off. And I've played the game pretty much straight for 2 years. And I've been in gold 4 or plat for almost the whole time.
Yeah.
So, and I don't spend gems to refresh or anything like that. But basically,
I'm probably right there with you. All I have is the HP row left to max, and I probably started playing a little bit after you. So I agree with you 100%. But on my free to play, which I'm on right now, and I'm sure that you will empathize with this, my man. But my free to play Great Hall is looking like. Because I got 2 levels of accuracy, it's really sad. I have Great Hall development at 4 right now. Granted, I've only been playing the account for 60 days or so, or a little over. But man, this is bad. These early levels should be easy.
Because we've played the game so much, we know how big the Great Hall is, right?
It's so huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll read you one of the questions that I asked because it relates straight into this. I basically said.
This is to Plarium.
Yeah, so this is directly to Plarium. And in fact, let me just read through some of these points because it might just give a bit of context here.
And set the table a little bit for us. So you reached out to Plarium after your video? Did they reach out to you? Like, how did this correspondence start?
Okay, yeah. So basically, I put a video out just saying new players are frustrated. Mm-hmm. And I kind of listed a bunch of things through the video, kind of like what we're talking about now. So, I was saying someone who's playing the game is relatively new to the game might be playing against someone who's been playing for a long time but is relatively inactive. So although they might not have logged in, they have to have logged in within 30 days, but still, if someone just logs in, checks a patch, finds out it's not really what they're after, logs out again, comes back 20 days later, in the real world, in the arena world, they're still active, but each week they're dropping a tier. Mm-hmm. So, they fill up the silver arena, and then the silver arena guys that couldn't beat gold go back a tier to bronze, and everyone's working their way backwards. So basically, I did a piece around that. I did a piece around what I called bots in the arena, and again, they kind of came back and said we've never added bots. They added something, but anyway,
they either added or removed something. I agree.
Something changed.
You have never thanked me.
Basically, I said the matchmaking doesn't feel good, and for an earlier player, and they basically came back and said, from your point there, actually we matchmake based on the tiers that they're in and player power. So you should get kind of more like a normal, or at least a fairer fight based on where you are in terms of your progression in the game. And a lot of people were quite surprised that was something that was mentioned.
Yeah.
And then basically I went on to say, for me, it's taken me nearly 2 years to get to gold 4 in the Great Hall. So if someone was coming in as a new player, like you are when you're free to play, and you're stuck in bronze for a long, long time, you'd actually need to win 8 years worth of battles to get to the same place we are at now. That's with you winning.
Yeah, dude, I'll see you in 2045, maybe before I die. I'll have a max Great Hall. Unlikely though, unlikely. So what did they say to that?
Yeah, well, basically, so I then said, look, can I just share a couple of questions and responses to the community in my video? The first one I said was, is it acknowledged that the player experience is not fun? So, is this something you guys have taken on board? And pretty much they came back and said, we're not seeing that. Our analytics don't tell us that the community feel that way. We still see videos of people that are new in the game reaching silver tier really quickly, which is impressive. And we believe that content creators can help people sharing tips and tactics. And as a matter of fact, we'll work in that direction as well. So they don't buy the fact at the moment that there's this kind of negative feel about the arena. That didn't resonate with them at all. So that's the first one. I was a bit disappointed with that because it's noisy out there. It's noisy that's how people feel.
Yeah, whether or not, I think we tend to agree, but whether or not it's justified to say that it doesn't exist is kind of weird,
Yeah.
But, okay.
And then the next one I said was, are there any plans to allow people to work on a Great Hall outside of the current arena system? Because I was acknowledging here that, it's just the Great Hall develops your whole game, not just your arena. When I first played the game, I thought Great Hall, ignore that because I don't really care about the arena. Yeah. Well, the Great Hall helps your whole game. Mm-hmm. If you're struggling with Clan Boss, work on your Great Hall. If you're struggling with anything,
sure,
work on your Great Hall and you do better. So I was hoping that there might be, if there's no immediate way to fix the arena, or if they're not looking to make changes to the arena structure, i.e. leaving a ton of people in bronze where they can't fight, I was just hoping there would be some sort of plans to say, you know what, why don't we let people develop their Great Hall by another means, whether it's events or whether it's tournaments, or just a different way of generating medals. And basically the answer to that was there's a clear definition of the locations where you can get rewards right now. We would like to leave that as it is. So just a straightforward look. That's not on our radar. We're not keen.
So it seems like the concerning thing here again is that they're not really acknowledging that it's an issue. So why would they try to solve it?
Do you see the bridge? Where?
So
that's it. Yeah, it feels. I think it feels like the responses come back to me like, oh, you know what, this content creator's moaning a bit about this.
Another rant video.
Like. Yeah. And I genuinely, like, I don't normally do rant videos or moan videos without offering solutions, because I'm like, you know what, I just want the game to get better. I want people to enjoy the game. Like, really, it's not, I don't own the game. All I'm trying to do is and I'm not in bronze, so it's not like it's affecting me directly. I do fine in the arena. But yeah, I try and look at it from the perspective of, what do my viewers think? How does the game feel for someone who's coming into it 2 years on?
And that's a good perspective. And how can you deny? I was shocked at the literally hundreds of comments about it. Sure. It's not like 2 or 3 or dozens. It was over 100. So that's a lot of people. So I really hope that because people aren't stupid. I mean, people realize when all of a sudden there's these easy teams. It felt like for a while there, we were just rolling, man. It was just like a bunch of Kales on every team. Another HellHades team, another Galak. It's so much. It was so easy. Just the 4 starting champions on every team, and all of a sudden those teams are few and far between. So I agree with you, man. It's not just brand new players. It's also players who are just trying to finish their Great Hall or make any progress. I shouldn't even say finish, but make any progress on their Great Hall. So I think that we differ a little bit on what exactly needs to be done, but we do agree on the fundamental fact that something needs to be done about this. So I really hope, I reached out today for the first time as well. I really hope that, maybe they watch this video and they're like, okay, there's a lot of people. And I'm sure the people watching will add their 2 cents into the comments and share their experience. Even if you don't notice this in the arena, that would be valuable feedback as well. But my hunch is that most people will kind of agree with the situation right here. I wanted to ask you this before we wrap up here, Hades, is we talked about this a little bit off air as well, but how do you feel overall about the game right now? Like, are you happy with things? Like, what's your sentiment overall about Raid?
Yeah, look, I think when they're dropping these videos about this is what's coming next, the improvements for quality of life, they're kind of changing up the Doom Tower on a pretty regular basis, considering it's quite fresh. Those things fill me with, like real enthusiasm for the game. Mm-hmm. And I still enjoy playing the game on a day-to-day basis. I still enjoy streaming the game when we're doing kind of like takeovers and trying to help people out. But I do feel like there's some big ticket stuff which does not feel that difficult to fix, that they're just sleeping on fixing. We could rattle off a few. There's one for me that really resonates high, which is time. And I just feel like, I did a video on this not that long ago, but, just to do the daily stuff, literally just to go from end to end, doing missions, doing my clan boss, doing arena fights, doing Doom Tower. And there's a lot of stuff now. They've added more and added more and added more, but they've not sped any of it up. And, to now take me like 4 hours of just grind. And I'm someone who's doing this, day in, day out. And I'm sure the average person doesn't have that much time to do it. So that's a concern, I think, and something which I think needs to be addressed. And there's a couple other things like, the dupe system, silver issues, book issues. They've all been here for such a long time now that, like, do something about it. Do something about it now, because we're now 2 years into your game, and they've actually just, I don't know if you've seen it yet, they've just dropped a video today where they throw out a load of stats, and it's kind of like, we've had X million players, we've this many thousand have got to level 60, this many thousand have got to level 100. And I guess the concerning thing for me is they've had like 75 million players play the game. A really small amount got to level 60.
Yeah. You know? So retention is the issue. Yeah.
And I feel like if they just fix some of these big ticket things, then they could really push that on. One thing I would say, just coming back to your point around their answers to the arena stuff, I have to say, they reached out to me and they said, we've seen your video. We've got some insights about what you said in your video from the dev team, not just from the community kind of liaison that we deal with, from the dev team. I was then able to ask the dev team some more questions and share the answers. So that's a massive step on from where we've been.
Sure.
I might not have got the answers I wanted to hear, but that's a massive step forward. That says to me, we want to try and improve. All right, there's a very guarded response and all that type of stuff, and it's not properly opening the doors yet, but at least they're kind of peeping through and seeing that the people are there. So, I mean, man, what's your view? What's your view on the game right now compared to when you started doing content? Over 12 months ago now, was it?
Yeah. It's been over a year. I echo a lot of the same sentiments that you have. Overall, I'm unapologetically a huge fan of this game, right? I mean, I started this. I didn't need to start another channel on YouTube, but I really got hooked on this, right? I started out just advertising it on my main channel, and I started watching, guys like you, and it just really. I really got into it, right? The community's awesome. The content creators are great. Obviously all the stuff that we all know about it. The graphics are insane. It's really, to me, like top of the class when it comes to gacha champion collector genre. And I'm a sucker for these type of games, right? Otherwise I wouldn't have started playing it, right? I like I like grinding type games like this. To your point, I can barely even play my free-to-play account because of the time that goes into this game, And I don't know if it's the best solution, but my solution would be, as a start, like the resources that we have keys for, there's only 2 of them. It's Faction Wars and Doom Tower boss farming. To that, just give us the instant battles on those. Do we need to watch the Faction Wars going through? Like, is it that important that we see our characters fighting the Faction Wars 3 times a day, whatever the number is, 6 times a day, 8 times a day?
Yeah, definitely.
To me, no. And do we need to see killing the Nether Spider 10 times in a row for 2 hours or whatever it takes? Yeah. No, we don't need to see that. Like, give us instant, Marvel Strike Force. I'm sure there's a bunch of games that have like an instant thing. To me, that's a step in the right direction, But
just on your point there, I've just been farming Frost Spider for the last literally 2 hours. I've got an average time here of 7 minutes. I've not got like some sort of perfectly built team or whatever, and I'm very high in Doom Tower. I finished it this month on hard, so I'm farming it on hard. Average fight 7 minutes, and I've had 15 keys. So it's 2 hours.
It's 2 hours for one part of the game, and we don't want Raid Shadow Legends to feel like a job, right? An obligation. We want it to be fun, and that's not fun.
Exactly.
Like, no one has fun. No one in the world is going to be like, my favorite part about the game is auto farming for 8 hours a day. Like, no one's going to say that. So I agree with you on the time issue. It is a big kind of looming issue. The more content that they add to the game, I mean, you said it best, man. I'm not going to repeat everything you said, but it's not that hard to fix some of these issues, right? And they could just give us some easy, throw us a couple bones. Like, hey guys, every Sunday, switch around artifacts for free. Like, it's not a perfect solution, but it's a little, throw us a little bone here and there. Let us know that we're heard, that you care about us, and work on that player retention, because at the end of the day, this is a business, and, there is a bottom line here for Plarium, but I don't understand why their data analysts don't grasp the fact that if you give us a you'll get a lot in the long term. It will make them more money, and that's what I don't understand about it. And we saw that, as evidence supporting that is in the last 6 months. I mean, things have been pretty good, right? They're moving the last maybe year, 6 months. Things changed since they replaced the CEO or whatever they did, right? Things have been better. And I really love everything they've added to the game. The champions are really cool. Doom Tower, to me, was a success. I like it. You can say there's things they need to work on. But overall, just, little things. Add some of the little things. Give us a little bit on the things that everybody's been asking for years. Shouldn't be that hard, right?
And they are doing they are doing some quality of life stuff.
Yes.
And that's good. And it's you probably don't notice it because it's little bits here and there, but they are doing it. So it's not like they're not trying to enhance the game. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, I mean, as we said, I just feel like it's some big ticket stuff.
Yeah.
that if they just turned one of those levers, which is totally in their power to do.
Sure.
This is the thing. It's like totally, just put on a ×4 speed for clan boss. It's like it's so in your power to do that.
Yeah.
And save everybody half an hour in their day, every day, or an hour in their day, whatever it is. Depends how many times you're doing a run. But it's just easily within your power to do it. Automatically upgrade artifacts. It's in your power to do that. You don't need the kind of animation. You don't need to take 15 minutes to upgrade one item.
So true.
It's bizarre that's still what you do. You don't need to see the animation.
Do you use any of
every
those
time someone levels up?
Do you use any of those like blue stacks or whatever those hacks or whatever to instantly upgrade? Yeah, I've never done it, but I'm so tempted. Every time I'm sitting there for 10 minutes on one artifact, I'm like, I'm tempted
Honestly,
to download blue stacks.
I only started doing it. I never had done it before. When I always used to play on my phone, actually. Before I was doing content, I never done it. And then when I started streaming, I had to do it because you've got an engaged audience. I've got 600 to 1,000 people sitting there. I don't want to see this roll, this bar going up and down, and I haven't got enough jokes to fill that time.
Right. Perfect time for a bathroom break, guys. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Yeah. It's true though. There are a bunch of little things like that they could really, work on. And, ultimately we both really enjoy the game. We both love the game, but it's just frustrating at times. And, similar to you, I hate just making rant videos because I like to actually bring some solutions to the table. And I don't want my audience to think I just hate this game. Like, why am I playing it, right?
No,
but at the end of the day, it's frustrating, man, because this game could be so much more. The foundation is there, But,
it's the best. Yeah. It's the best in this genre. They've already got that. I guess maybe that's their challenge is they don't have someone that's coming after them. They've got to have anyone close to them on visuals, on quality of animations, on depth of content. They really do have a lot in the game. Yeah. I know some people moan that they could do more. Everyone can do more. Like any game I've ever played, people have moaned that there's not enough content. Yeah. But then, you've got a game like League of Legends that's had the same map for the last 12 years, but they manage it really well. And they've still got a huge player base. So it's not all about add more. Sometimes it's about enhance what you got. Yeah. And I just feel like that should be their next step. It's just kind of really work hard on improving what they've got. I agree. There's a lot of content right now in the game. And my last question for you before we wrap this chat up here, Hades, is what are you most excited about coming, that we know is on the radar for 2021? And just off the top of my head, we have a Void Champion rebalancing. We have the Void Keep, which is supposed to be a way to like newly ascend champions or something like that. We have Hydra Clan Boss, and I might be forgetting something, but like out of those, what are you most excited about? Yeah, it's an easy answer for me because I've always been a huge fan of Clan Boss. It's always been like the area that I've been most invested in. I've most enjoyed trying to work new teams, new compositions, enhance my scores, my numbers. So Hydra Clan Boss for me is like an easy answer. But for the game, away from me, I actually feel like I don't know if it's going to be like some sort of ascension thing or if it's actually a dupe system. Some people, and it's just speculation, but some people are saying maybe this kind of new ascension type looking thing could actually be their dupe answer. And if that's what it is, then the one on the dungeon map? Game, yeah. The way they worded it in a recent video, there was this kind of like two-headed monster type thing, which people say maybe that's dupes going into each other to form something else or enhance a champion that's already there. Which would be cool. If that's what it is, I really hope that's what it is. But in that same video, didn't they say something to the effect of like, we'll have a new way to ascend your champions, but don't worry, it won't be with the magical, the same potions that you're used to. And say hello, you'll be upgrading it by facing this dude. I felt like it was kind of it, but I have to go back and watch. But I hope you're right though, man. I hope you're right. I'm rooting for you to be right, not me. Man, because like that'd be so cool. But either way, I hear you, man, on new clan boss. Hydra Clan Boss sounds like like it could be cool. We don't really know much about it, but I guess the one thing I didn't mention would be my answer, right? Is that clan tournaments and stuff, like you can argue they're the worst thing they've ever done to the game or the best thing, who knows? But for me, like if they take that one step further and they build off that foundation that we think is going to be like meh, kind of, basically just giving us another chore list to do every day. But if they build that into a true PvP, that's like what I'm most looking forward to in the game, I mean, that's what everyone was hoping they were going to say. When they were like clan versus clan, we were like, let's see what they've got in store. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
And you look at it, you're just like, oh, hold on a minute. This is like doing a fusion. It's like doing a fusion, but as a clan.
Wait a second. Now I'm going to be peer pressured into doing all these tasks every day? Great. Awesome. Cool.
So I mean, again, they've really just missed the mark a bit. And they've said that's not all that's coming. So, fingers crossed, this kind of, live PvP or like almost like Clash of Clans type style. Yeah. You pitch yourself against one or two of your opponents. You get points for, how many people you take down or something. I just feel like they've already got the bones of it in the game. It's ready.
100%, man.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. Really cool. Fingers crossed for sure. But we'll go ahead and wrap it here, guys. We have HellHades Twitter, Twitch, website, which you guys should definitely check out. A lot of champion guides there as well. A lot of tools to use. And of course, his YouTube channel. Anything I'm forgetting there, Hades, before we let you go, man? You got a lot going on, dude. Discord server? Discord? Patreon? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks again for coming on, man. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on, buddy. It's always fun. Thanks, man.
No problem. We'll do it again soon. Guys, perfect time to go ahead and check out the video on HellHades channel that hopefully we'll coordinate to go out the same day. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. Appreciate you guys. And as always, take care, guys.